we are all alone in this room. So, no. All right, y'all, we are back for episodes 7 through 9. I think 7 through 9 of Love is Blind, season 6. Okay. If you haven't watched the first 6 episodes, if you haven't seen my review of the first 6 episodes, I'll try to link the video up there or either in the description box. Either way. Y'all know I got my notes. I got about 4 pages of notes. Okay. And I pretty much, as the show is happening, I'm writing down my notes. So if it jumps from like couple to couple, then back to that couple, then back to this couple, it's because I'm writing it as it happens, my thoughts as it happens. So let's just get right into it because we're not gonna make this too long. Can I just say, this is the Chelsea and Jimmy show. Honestly, they were majority of the focus for these last 3 episodes. And I'm like, well, girl, it's at least 4 other couples. Come on. So anyway, Jimmy is trying so hard to convince himself, us, that he loves Chelsea. I feel like he does have some kind of emotion for her. I don't really think he love her or in love with her like that. And I feel like she makes, I think she know that, okay? But she's like trying to make him like, I don't know, and it's just not working. None of it's working. None of it. Can we get a round of applause for Brittany? Brittany is literally my fave, okay? She's asking all the right questions. She's trying to understand. She's trying to communicate. She's trying to love this man. I mean, oh my God. I honestly think Kenneth checked out once he had that conversation with AD about Brittany potentially raising their Black children, what the world thinks about interracial couples, that type of thing. And I think he really got into his head and he really got into like, well, what are people going to, what are people going to say about me, say about us? But it's just like, at the end of the day, nobody can tell you who to love. You can't help who you love. And if you love someone of another race, love that person. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it started out so good. It started out so good. Literally in my last review, I had nothing bad to say about him. Like, literally nothing. And it just took a turn like that. She's literally trying so hard. The boat ride was so awkward. She was trying so hard to start conversation, to like, every time she comes on camera, you could just like literally see her physically, mentally, emotionally trying so hard. And I mean, it should not be that hard. You know what I mean? So anyway, he definitely clocked out, shut down. At that point, I felt like the conversation they had later on probably should have been this conversation that they had. You know what I mean? So they could save themselves some time from moving in together and doing all this and doing all that to where they are now. That would have been a good time to kind of have that conversation as well. And if it's just too worried about what his family and friends are going to think about it. And when it comes to love, you can't think about what other people think because they're not going to, you know what I mean, be with that person at the end of the day. You are. And if that person is truly for you and you think that what people say shouldn't matter. Like, yeah, you want people's approval. This is somebody you really love and you know what I mean, is really there for you. Forget what the folks say, okay? Laura is terrible. When her and Jeremy had the talk on the dock, she was explaining to him that she felt triggered. I hate the little buzzwords. I felt triggered because I told you something jokingly and you went and told it. You weren't supposed to do that. You triggered me. I just don't like how she turned it on him and now he's had to like take the fall for it and like somehow he's the bad guy for just repeating what his fiance said, which was stupid in the first place. At this point in the episode, I'm liking Jeremy because even though he's young, he can communicate and he can express himself on how he feels and his feelings. He can take accountability. He can apologize. Like, I like all these things about him. So I love that. Clay. When I tell you, Clay just be rambling. He be yapping. And I think when he be talking, he be forgetting what he be talking about. Because I just be like, well, what was the initial point? Because he literally takes you on a roller coaster, takes you for a loop. And I'm like, well, what? And he be putting his foot in his mouth. He be putting his foot in his own mouth. He'll start rambling, then he'll be like, I don't want to let you down. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, you're gonna let me down? Like, you know, it's just like, dude, shut up. Like, he just be saying stuff, then it's just like, Chelsea and Jimmy are trying to convince everyone they're in love. I think clearly Trevor was the right choice for Chelsea. But I feel like, of course, they had to have some kind of controversy, some kind of something, you know, to give us to talk about. So I feel like Chelsea and Jimmy, I just feel like this is like an orchestrated type of relationship. To me, it just looks like they could possibly be good friends, you know, and then later on we see that Jimmy does have female friends. So, like, I could just see Chelsea fitting in with, like, their friend group, you know? So, anyway, I said, they in NC? What? I live in North Carolina, so I was like, wait, they're in Charlotte? Like, okay, then. I ain't know they came down here to do all that. Okay, then. I said, Lauren tolerates Jeremy. I honestly, yeah, you know, I don't think she I feel like she has a love for him. Like, at this point, I feel like a lot of them have love for each other, but they don't necessarily love each other or in love with each other. And I definitely think Lauren tolerates Jeremy at this point, because it's just like, girl, she be little broing him sometimes, and I'm just like, like, how long is he gonna put up with that? All right. I said, Clay always has a monologue. Like, dude, maybe he really is an actor. Maybe he really is an actor, because I'm like, this dude really just, like, he doesn't give AD a chance to speak at all. And I was gonna say, like, he can hold a conversation, but a conversation is two people exchanging dialogue back and forth. No. He's doing all the talking, okay? He's not letting AD talk at all. So it's just like, it's kind of a red flag when a dude feel like they have to, like, over explain their point. And it's just like, it's really not that serious, you know? I don't even remember what he was talking, like, he just be saying some off the wall stuff, bro. Like, he's like, well, I came from a family where my dad was a player, and all I seen was him with different women, and it's just like, why are you telling your wife this? So I thought it was okay to be a player. Grew up dating a bunch of girls, like, I don't know if he said, like, it was somewhere in that kind of realm. And then he's just like, yeah, But I could, like, sense that she's like, the red flags just going up. Because you're literally telling me you grew up being, like, you're still a player, pretty much. In which she sensed that in, like, the first time talking to him. So it was just like, he just be talking himself into a hole. He just be digging it for himself. Don't even know what he be talking about. He just want to talk. Like, it just be a lot. It'd be a lot. Kenneth and his phone. Oh boy, when I tell you, ain't it funny how folks be switching up? That's really how I be in real life, for real. They pour out their heart, they one way to you, and then once they somewhat feel like they got you, they just start showing their true colors, girl. Like, Kenneth, come on now. Your fiance is speaking to you. You guys are moving in together. You're trying to sort out the living situation, and you're in your phone. Can you put down the phone, be present with your fiance, at least for a little while, until y'all get all this straightened out? Then explain to her, I have a meeting. I have a presentation I have to get done, so I'm going to do this for a little while. Like, you know, like, but for you to just be on your phone, and she literally just looking at you like, okay, waiting for him to put the phone down. Like, it was terrible. When Jimmy met Chelsea's friends, he literally said, and this isn't verbatim, but it's kind of what I gather from what he said. He said he had a connection with another girl. He wanted to pick the other girl, but the date ended badly. So when he went in to talk with Chelsea, she uplifted his spirits. She made him feel better. So I told her I loved her. That's what I got from what he said. So I'm like, wait, do you realize what you just said? He another one too be putting his foot in his mouth. Cause girl, let's move on. I love that Brittany spoke to him about how she felt. I feel as though I want this to work so bad, but I feel like there's just a disconnect. And there was. because for some reason, I felt like she was just gonna keep trying to like make it work and like keep just ignoring everything that he had been doing. But I love that she spoke up and she really just let him know how she felt. But the way he tried to turn that thing on her, it was like, well, that's how you feel. That's not how I feel. And then he tried to say, she's like, I'm a very I'm a very affectionate person. She's told him this quite a few times. He's not that affectionate. It's that one time I came in at 1:30 and I tried to be affectionate, but you pushed me away. What? I feel like he's the type. It's that like passive aggressive type stuff, right? So like I can communicate. She can communicate to him, you're not being as affectionate as I would like. And then he'll be like, oh, well, remember that time I came in at 1:30 and I tried to be affectionate and you pushed me away? Just so he could like have something to like come, like, what did I say? Yes, I said he picks moments where he knows she won't be into it or like down with it. So he can later come back and say, well, remember that time I tried to do da. He picked that time. So any regular time, he ain't got to do it. But if she come to him with it, then, I got this story I could say. It's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't like it. I'm just like, dude, why it always sound like you giving a report? Like, I understand you a principal, so like you gotta like, you probably do a lot of presentations and a lot of, your thing is professionalism at all times, right? But you're speaking to the woman that you want to spend your life with. Why does it sound like you making a book report or you doing a presentation? Like, he was so nonchalant. She's breaking down crying because she's telling him there's a disconnect in our relationship. And he's just, well, like, there's a disconnect for you. But if you feel like it's a disconnect for you, then we don't need to be together. Like, it was so, ugh. And they decided to break up. Well, they decided not to be together anymore. He immediately gets on his phone. She's boohoo crying. You okay? I mean, what's she supposed to say? What I mean? He goes upstairs, calls his friend. I'm about to be over there in a few. And just leaves her in that moment. Makes me feel like you were never really into her. And I feel like that could have been expressed in the resort, on the resort, that you weren't really feeling it. That was so terrible to watch because I was literally rooting for Kenneth. And I said, don't you go. I literally said this last time. Don't you. I ain't gonna say it. I said, boy, don't you get on this TV and prove them right. And that's exactly what he did. Oh. Anyway, let's move on. That literally just made my head hurt. It was so sad. It was literally the saddest thing I've seen in a while. Okay. Chelsea and Jimmy, yet again. The same conversations. Literally everything. Like, there's only one way. I don't understand how many ways you can have the same conversation, but they're having it. They are having it. Okay. I feel like every time we see them, he's literally telling her that he loves her, that she's beautiful. I mean, giving her the reassurance that he knows that she needs at this point, right? But for some reason, it's not enough. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what you want him to do. She's like, well, you say I love you, but you be like, I love you. Like, I get it, but he's saying it. Like, don't you want him to say it? He gonna say it because he wants you to say it. I mean, oh. And then it's like, you didn't kiss me all day. He said, well, actually, I kissed you before I went to my meeting. And, she's like, well, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You only kissed me once. Oh my gosh. I literally got a headache. I just feel like there's bigger things going on in the world, Chelsea. Come on now. You going back and forth about your fiance, about him not saying I love you and him not kissing you enough, when literally that's all we see him do? Come on now. You gotta be kidding me. Literally. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's the last page. So, he let Chelsea have it. He really did. He said, you're too clingy. She lost it. What? How am I too clingy? Oh my God. Oh. I said, oh. He was not playing. Like, he is fed up with her. Do you hear me? He said, I literally tell you I love you more than anybody probably. But like, literally, he's the only one going out of his way to do everything that she asked him to do. And even though it's not believable, and I think that's her thing, like, she wants it to sound and be believable. But it's like, it's a little excessive. Like, come on. Like, not saying it can't be done, but like, can we be realistic? Like, can we not let that be the thing that you're arguing about, you're complaining about? Like, what? Anyway, girl, she said, I give my all to you. But it's like, girl, all we hearing is you complain and whine about what he not doing. So, you want him to do it or you don't? Oh, girl. It's just one of those things, like, what's that movie called? He's just not that into you. Like, you gotta accept it. I mean, that's really all it is. Anyway, I like Laura's sister-in-law. She's realistic. Laura's hung up on Jeremy's Hawaiian shirts for some reason. Like, it's just a shirt. Let the man wear his Hawaiian shirts. Like, I feel like she wants to try to control every aspect of the man. Let the man be the man, okay? If motorcycles and Hawaiian shirts are like your biggest cons of this man, let him be. I mean, you pick those cons and you focus on them instead of all the pros you say you wrote down. I don't get it. I really don't. Her sister-in-law was like, you're gonna have to compromise. Like, let him wear his shirts. Like, I mean, he, like, wearing his shirt, does that change the dynamic of your relationship? Like, I don't understand. Like, your relationship is still your relationship, whether he wears the Hawaiian shirt or not. We're talking about Hawaiian shirts. Come on now. Oh, I like Clay's mom. Here we are with Clay. I think Clay listens to respond and not listen to understand. And his mom broke it down the simplest way possible. If you love somebody, you're gonna make time for them. That's it. That's all. Literally. So yeah. Last scene, Laura and Jeremy. Oh boy. Girl, I felt like I was watching a soap opera, girl. I love when you catch a guy in a lie. You know what occurred, but you try to ask them to see if they're going to tell you the truth, they're going to be honest with you. But you already know what happened. And he lied? Oh, girl. That was a lot. So pretty much, Jeremy, I'm going to say he hooked up, because that's allegations, but Jeremy tried to say he went to a bar with some of the Love is Blind men. And what's her name? I don't even know the girl's name. And the other girl that he was contemplating on being with, Marianne, I don't think that's her name anyway. She was there. So he claimed the bar closed at 2. They sat in the parking lot at the bar till 5 o'clock and talked. She said, no, you didn't. You were at such and such and such and such, and that's where Marianne lives. I said, oh my God. He got caught. He ain't had nothing to say, girl. And she said, I want out. So hopefully she leaving the man alone. Because if it's already starting like that, she said, if you chose me, you should have been shut down any thoughts, anything you and Marianne thought y'all was gonna have. Like, if you chose me, you shouldn't still be communicating with Marianne on a level of we may be together. You should have shut that down when she sent you the DM. But girl, but him responding and him talking to her is pretty much leaving the door open. Like, you kind of already like foreseeing it not working with you and Laura. So I get it. This has just been taking me for a loop. I mean, all these men are like, ugh. Oh, I did skip over, what's their name, girl? Dang, what's her name? Johnny and, golly, I was forgetting their names. Johnny and Amy. I think they're doing good. I do think when it comes to, like, his timeline, it's a little unrealistic. Like, yeah, you can, like, have plans for your life, and you can create this timeline of when you want this and when you want this to happen. But it's not realistic. It's really not. The whole wanting her to be on birth control so you can have unprotected sex. Like, even though I'm on birth control does a lot to a woman's body. Dude, just pull out or put a condom on if you don't want her to get pregnant right now. Or like she said, have a vasectomy. But you don't want to do that, though. But you want her to get on birth control. I mean, these men just be like... And I do like how he said, I can't, I'm not going to try to, control what you do with your body. But, like, you kind of are. So, let's not do that, okay? So, he's scared to have sex with her because he thinks that he's going to get her pregnant. And he doesn't trust condoms. And I get you might not want to have a kid right now. But it's like... What would be so bad about having a kid? I want to get a house first. I want to do this first. I want to save up money. And I definitely think they're going to clash with that because she said, well, I'm more of like a live in the moment type of, you know what I mean? So if it's something I want to do, like, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, that's really their biggest difference. And he's like really stern in that, he's really stern on that timeline. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to budge or compromise or what, because he is not playing when it comes to that timeline. Do you hear me? So anyway, that was the gist of that. The next, I wonder if it's gonna be the final episodes. Go on the 28th. So girl, y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on the season so far. Which couple do you like? What couple do you not like? Or person, either or.